Radical.
And it's dead. And it is dead. The Stadia, after 3 years, will be no more. Google is shutting down the service in January 2023. So, 3 years? 3 years is what you had with the Stadia. The Ouya! The Ouya lasted longer than the Stadia, didn't it? I believe. Now they cited, a lack of interest. It just couldn't get it started, basically, in the product. And that's why they're shutting things down. Hey, you got no one to hold them, no one to fold them, and no one to walk away. And Google, this is not the first time they've walked away from something. But the difference here is, they're doing something very commendable. Believe it or not, Google is actually reimbursing people that bought Google Stadia hardware, which would be just a controller, right? Basically, controller. Because it's not an actual console. It's not a gaming console. It's, just streaming. But Google is reimbursing you for what you bought. Not only on the hardware, the controller, but on the software. I'm reading this, but I just can't believe it. They're actually reimbursing people. They're refunding people for their purchases made on the Stadia store. That is absolutely amazing. That is very commendable. Google, I tell you, that's a great way to build some goodwill up. And if you happen to come out with the Stadia 2, or you come up with something else, which would, if you really wanted to sell something, an actual dedicated game console or something dedicated, because that's what gets people interested, is actually the dedicated, console. Xbox has the X. You'd have just like a big G on the console. Like, ooh, what would the console look like? So that's great that they're reimbursing people. Although, here's something interesting. They didn't let the developers of games for the Stadia know. They didn't let them know. Didn't give them any heads up. I'm sure some of you enjoyed the service, had fun with it. Assassin's Creed Odyssey was one of the games you could get. I guess the concept was just being able to play some new games affordably without having to buy any hardware. I can't tell you much about it. I never had it. I can't tell you about the pricing of it. I can't tell you about the experience. I just don't really care for game streaming. Just give me the box. Let me play the game. I don't, and I have pretty decent internet, but game streaming just really doesn't appeal to me. And a lot of people were probably the same way. Like, you know what? Just buying this game streaming service, just the streaming service, nah, probably not for us. Yeah, so there it is. After 3 years, Google Stadia will be no more. But you're getting your money back at least. Now, they say refunds should be coming out January 2023. I don't think you can buy any games right now on it. I might be wrong on that. But you could still, play the games you have on Stadia until January 18th, I believe.